Hey guys, it's Laura here and welcome to my channel. So today I am building an Oktoberfest-inspired build for the What the Fork collab on Instagram. So my very good friend Anna, you may know her as OrianaSimsStudio, and Indigo, her username is Indigo Builds on Instagram. They created this collab where me and a bunch of other really talented simmers were invited to recreate Newcrest using restaurant builds instead of residential builds. So here I am just making the entrance of the festival. I saw this picture on Pinterest of Oktoberfest with this huge pillar at the entrance where you came in, and there was a massive beer glass on top of the pillar and it was sort of tilting. So I wanted to recreate that in the game, and the best way to do that was using the tool mod. So I've used the tool mod quite a few times in this build, and I've tried to leave in the edit how I used it. So if you do have any questions or you want some help with how to sort of use the tool mod, then please do send me a message on Instagram, or you can tweet me and I will do my best to help you. So now we are building a really cute barn in the back of the build. This is where the kitchen's going to be, as well as some indoor dining and the toilets. So I decided, instead of using an archway or actual doors, I wanted to create, using the tool mod, a way to make the windows look like they're sort of barn doors. So I've used the tool mod to move the window over and to rotate it. So now I'm just moving on to the colouring of the barn and placing some decorative objects down as well. I decided to go for a lot of barrels and posters that sort of depict live music, and I used these really cute planters as well all over the build, really, because I felt like they just fitted the aesthetics so well. Now I'm just moving on to the stage. So I've been to Oktoberfest in London. One of the main things that stand out for me with these festivals is there's always a stage, there's always places to dance, so I wanted to incorporate that into my build. So I decided to create this stage with a sort of backdrop that you can imagine. There's lights and there's videos playing, and because we haven't got real band capabilities in The Sims, I decided to go with the DJ booth instead, which you'll see me place very shortly. I did use the platform tool a lot in this build to recreate the stage and raise dance floor. I haven't actually used the platform tool that much. I find it really difficult and annoying to use, so you know, if EA can sort their stuff out, that would be great. So I'm just going around now and adding some lights and putting down the flooring. So I tried to recreate this sort of living quarters for the people that perhaps work in the festival, because I feel like in real life a lot of people that put on these events travel with the company, but I quickly realized that there wasn't going to be enough space to fit in everything that I wanted to. And speaking of space, you'll see that at the moment the barn and the dance floor and the stalls I'm creating are very bunched up. So shortly you will see me move everything down slightly so there's more space in between, and that just, I think, makes for better gameplay, so you can properly rotate the camera and see the whole lot from all different angles without any annoying obstacles. Here we are, just moving everything down. Do let me know if you've been to any Oktoberfests or medieval fairs in the past. I know right now with the whole world in a pandemic that those kind of events aren't really going ahead, but let me know your experiences with these sort of things, because maybe I can take your suggestions on board and create something like that in the future. So now I'm just going around the lot and framing it with some bushes. I felt like I needed a bit more greenery because the flooring definitely gives a kind of killed off vibe when it comes to plants and wildlife, so I did make a point of trying to add some bushes. And now I'm just going in and creating the entrance of the festival, which I do change up a little bit throughout the build, but basically the gist is your Sims will queue up front of the lot and be served by a host who will be dressed as a gnome, because I thought like that would be really fun, and they'll go through to the dance floor and then through to the restaurant in the back. I'm working on the billboards at the front, so I used the tool mod again here to resize and reposition the stickers, and then added some more stickers to make it feel like it was an information board. And then I just go around and work some more on the stage and the decorative objects that sort of give it a more Oktoberfest beer vibe before moving on to the stalls and the host and waiter stations. So I added these lanterns as well to the build, but it wasn't until later when I realised that there's actually no light coming from them, which is a bit weird, but I found them in the debug menu, so I guess that's probably why. At the end I do go back in and swap them out for lanterns that are actually lit, so your Sims will be able to see what they're doing and move around the lot without bumping into things. I decided that by putting these planters down the middle, it sort of gave the impression that you had a way in and a way out, which I quite liked. I feel like in today's sort of standards that there seems to be a lot more of these one-way systems, so that was important to incorporate. And now we're just moving into the barn where the kitchen is, and this actually gets changed up quite a few times because it was too small and then it was too weirdly shaped, and so it took me a while to figure out how I wanted the kitchen to be, but in the end I'm quite happy with how it turned out. And it did sort of mean this was the defining point when I realised that I was running out of space to fill everything that I wanted to do. And I had a great time placing down the barrels everywhere. I've never really used those objects before because they're so one particular style, which isn't really a style that I use very often. So it was cool to use them, and I ended up making the bathroom just off the restaurant here. It's very simple, not much to it. I kind of feel like usually at these places you'd have portaloos, which are disgusting if anyone's ever had to use them before. So I made sure that the toilets were at least somewhat neat and tidy. So just going in and placing a few decorative objects in the barn as well. I feel like I probably could have added a lot more, but I don't know if I made a choice not to, or if I had just forgotten, which is probably more likely to be the case. I just put some menus up and add some table decorations. And of course you need to have condiments if you're having hot dogs, so that was also put on the tables. And now I'm just going around adding more decorative things to the outside. Adding barrels, adding planter pots and some benches around the dance floor. I do actually go in afterwards and take out the benches and put in some more dining areas for the outside in front of the barn. That's something that's done off camera, but you'll see it in the screenshots. So here I'm finally in the kitchen designing the cabinets and making some small adjustments. I didn't feel like the kitchen required a fridge, so I just used one of the small freezer objects that I believe we got with Discover University because I felt like it was a bit more realistic. I didn't clutter it up as much as I usually would. I don't know if maybe I just got a bit lazy towards the end, which again is probably more likely. But I did want this build to be as functional as possible considering it's for a save file, so I sort of left out a lot of my cluttering that I would usually put in a kitchen. I really wanted to use the shacks as sort of small shops. It doesn't really work in this lot unless you switch the type to a retail, which obviously you are more than welcome to do so. But I just wanted to give it a little bit of realism and add some objects that if this was a real place you would be able to go in and buy something. So I decided to use the gnomes and the wood carving and some candles because I felt like out of all the objects that there is an abundance of in the game, those were the sort of items that you would typically see at Oktoberfest. So overall, I'm really happy with how this lot turned out. It was really good fun building it for the What the Fork collab, so please do, if you're on Instagram, check out hashtag What the Fork to see everyone's amazing builds. There's been some fantastic content created for this collab, so please do check that out. As always, if you're happy with my build, it is available on the gallery. So type in my username, laursimming, and you'll have access to all my previous downloads as well as this lot. Thank you so much for watching my video. I really hope you subscribe and I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye!